Ladies and gentlemen, we're doing some we're doing some playoff predictions. I don't know. I'm getting over a sickness. I don't know if you're gonna be able to see everything on here. That's what I'm here for. That's what the narration is for. Okay, now we're going bold. You see my jersey. That's just a little warning. Okay, so out here we have the West. Bear with me. West. Over here we have the East. Let's go over the play-in tournament for a second, okay? I'll make this one quick. Well, Memphis is not beating Golden State. So Golden State is going against Houston as the, what are they, like this, the seventh seed? Golden State is going to end up as a seventh seed because they beat the Grizzlies. And then it's, what is it, the Kings versus, it doesn't matter. The Kings are beating whoever they're playing. I forget who it is. And then they're beating the Grizzlies as well. So the Kings end up as the 8th seed. The Grizzlies are out, and whoever else was the fucking 9th or 10th seed, I forget who it is, but they're out as well, okay? Golden State, I don't even got to explain that. I mean, they got way more experience than the Grizzlies. Steph Curry's clutch. Jimmy Butler and Draymond Green are a problem on defense. Like, come on. Golden State, easily. Sacramento, I feel like DeMar DeRozan's got one more good playoff clutch performance in him, and it's going to come into play-in. Now, also, it doesn't fucking matter because they have to play OKC, and they're going to lose. But we'll get to that. Play-in over here, I really want Atlanta to lose because the Spurs have their picks. So as long as they keep losing, the picks keep going up, and that's good for us. But unfortunately, I do think Trae Young is always due for one solid clutch performance, and he always plays hard. So I do think that they're going to win the 7th seed and have to play Boston. Now, do they win it because they're better than Orlando? No. I think Orlando loses on purpose because they don't want to play Boston. They want to play Cleveland. So I think Orlando loses to the Hawks and then beats the Bulls or whoever the other fucking team is. That team, whatever team it is, they're not winning. Orlando loses on purpose to dodge the Boston Celtics, and then they play against Cleveland after they win the other game. So the winners of the play-in tournament, Golden State and Sacramento, Orlando Magic, and the Atlanta Hawks. Okay? Let's get into the actual playoffs. Okay? We'll start with the East. Boston versus Atlanta. Boston in 5. Sorry, Boston in 5. New York Knicks versus Detroit. Do I even gotta talk about this, by the way? I think Trae Young, again, is good enough for one win. You know, that man is like the supervillain of the NBA. Honestly, they might get swept. So Boston in 5 is being generous. New York versus Detroit. This one's going to be good. This is going to be a really good series. Cade Cunningham, Jalen Brunson is like the clutchest player in the league. Karl Anthony Towns is very like, you know, so yeah, like Bodega Cat. Isaiah Stewart is definitely going to at least throw one punch in this series. So in that case, you know, I really do think this is the series where Karl Anthony Towns loses all his aura, whatever aura he had remaining, he's losing all of it. Nobody's ever going to call him Bodega Cat again because they're going to be beaten by the Pistons. Honestly, hot take, Pistons in 6. Nobody's ever going to call him Bodega Cat ever again. Indiana versus Milwaukee. Who is on Milwaukee other than Giannis? Indiana is winning. I'm a huge Tyrese Halliburton supporter, and I think they're also winning. You know what? I'll say 5. They're winning in 5. I think Milwaukee's garbage, and like Damian Lillard's probably gonna come back halfway through the series only to be like injured and kind of limping. He's not gonna be that great, so I'm definitely going Indiana in 5. I just think they're going to outrun the Milwaukee Bucks. Don't the Pacers have like the highest pace in the league? Get it? Anyway, Cleveland versus Orlando. I could be disrespectful. Everybody's disrespecting the Cleveland Cavaliers right now, and I could disrespect them right here. I'm not going to do that, though. Cleveland's winning, and I think this is the first series that goes to 7. Darius Garland, Evan Mobley, Jarrett Allen, Donovan Mitchell. Like, come on. They're locking up the paint, and they're lighting it up from 3. Like, I don't think Franz Wagner was playing really, really good without Paolo Banchero, and then Paolo Banchero was playing really, really good without Franz Wagner. They have not played really, really good together. And I think they're going to play really good together next year, but this is the experience that they need to lose, even though they lost last year. But they weren't really that good last year anyway. All right. Oh, there's a mirror in my way. We're going to do the West now. Houston versus Golden State. Not a lot of upsets over here, except for New York versus Detroit. Everything else is kind of like going as expected in terms of winners. In terms of games, it is kind of crazy that Cleveland goes 7 games, whatever. But West, this is where the upsets are going to come in. Be prepared to be angry, okay? Golden State versus Houston. Man, I have so much trouble voting against Stephen Curry. That man puts some fear in my heart. Now, ideally, I want Steph Curry to win, and I want the Lakers to win so that LeBron and Steph Curry can meet in the conference semifinals. I don't think it's going to happen. I do think Golden State is winning against Houston. Gasp, I know. I said Cleveland was heavily disrespected. Houston is also very heavily disrespected. That being said, no experience. Jalen Green is a bum. Bookmark that. I promise you Jalen Green is a bum. I promise you that man is going to fold so hard in the playoffs. Golden State is winning. Probably, honestly, in like 6. Okay. Oh, I should have been writing these down as I was going. Okay, we'll take a little break. Boston, Detroit. What do we got here? Indiana and Cleveland. Okay, there we go. Golden State. There we go. Okay. Los Angeles Lakers versus Minnesota. I kind of foreshadowed it. I do think this is going to be an upset. I think Minnesota is going to defeat the Los Angeles Lakers, which is crazy because Minnesota's not been that good this year. But I think, Anthony Edwards already has a couple kids. I think he's going to add another child to his growing resume, and that's going to be Luka Doncic. Luka. Anthony Edwards is going to pop off this series. Julius Randle is going to do everything he can to help the Lakers. He's going to fold, but I think Anthony Edwards is going to come out on top anyway. This one's going to be very interesting. Just because they have Luka, I'm going to give it 7 games. Notice how I didn't mention LeBron a single time. Grandpa ain't going to do shit, okay? Anthony Edwards loves old people, okay? We saw what he did to Kevin Durant. What was that, last year? We saw what he did to him last year. He loves old people. He loves to put his nuts in old people's faces. LeBron James, you're cooked. Minnesota wins. Clippers versus Denver. I'm a believer. As long as Kawhi stays healthy, I don't even think a classic James Harden flop playoff performance can stop the Clippers from beating the Denver Nuggets. So, do I really got to go into it? The Denver Nuggets just fired their head coach like 3 days ago. Russell Westbrook's on their team. I don't think Jamal Murray has another bubble performance in him. I think he lays an egg. Not actually like an egg, but like he's, I don't think he's going to play that well. Clippers defense is too strong. Ivica Zubac is one of the most underrated players in the entire NBA. I think he's going to defend against Jokic like any of the best defenders could. So I'm honestly going to say Clippers I'm going to say 5. I honestly think the Denver Nuggets are going to go out sad. There we go. Oklahoma City versus the Sacramento Kings. Oklahoma City. I'm not even going to talk about that one too much. This one I think is going to be our first sweep. And then I'm going to put OKC right here. Let's go back to the East. So over here, that looks like it says pet. Anyway, over here we'll start with this one. Okay, we'll start with this one. Cleveland versus Indiana. I have not thought about this until this very moment. I really wish I had. That way I wouldn't have to think on the spot. Nah, I'm going Cleveland. I love Tyrese Halliburton, but Cleveland has too many offensive weapons and defensive weapons. And I think they win it. Honestly, I think they win it in 5. I think they have a much easier time on that one. Cleveland wins in 5. I mean, Indiana, they're good. Not enough outside of Tyrese Halliburton. I mean, they have some good players, Nembhard, Miles Turner, but, you know, I just don't think it's going to happen. Boston versus Detroit. Oh, I want to pick Detroit so bad, man. I want to pick them so bad. What should I do? What should I do? What should I do? Fuck. We're skipping that one. We're coming back. Minnesota versus the Golden State Warriors. What did I say? Anthony Edwards. He loves old people. This man sees an elder care home and it's lights out. Like it's over. That man, he's not even seeing anything but red. Minnesota wins and they win in, I'll give Steph Curry some respect. They win in 6. That man just loves old folks. Speaking of old folks, Kawhi Leonard and James Harden, are you going to hold up for 2 series? Brace yourselves. Because I do think that the Los Angeles Clippers, hear me out, have a chance to beat the Oklahoma City Thunder, okay? The Thunder have an amazing offense. They have an amazing defense and a above average offense. The Clippers have an amazing defense and a kind of amazing offense as well. Outside of Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, you know, popping off. If Chet Holmgren is able to stay healthy, which I'm not a believer in, but then also Kawhi Leonard is fine. I think he has one left in him. One healthy playoff run, and he's done. He'll never do it again. This one's gonna be hard fought. It's gonna go to 7 games, but I think the Clippers win it. I think the Clippers stage the upset of upsets. I wrote whatever. I'll just write clip. I think they stage the upset of upsets and beat the Oklahoma City Thunder, who are heavily favorited and probably have the MVP, in 7 games. James Harden, I need you to cook. Kawhi Leonard, I need you to stay healthy. Ivica Zubac, you keep doing what you're doing. Flame me. Like, what do you want me to say? What do you want me to say? Detroit versus Boston. I already had one crazy upset. Do I have it in me to put 2 crazy, Nah. Nah. I don't have it in me. I'll go Boston. I'm predicting Boston here, but just know if Boston loses here, nobody's gonna celebrate harder than me. I hate Boston. I hate them. But I do think they win it. I think they win it in 5. All right. Conference finals. Are we excited? Boston versus Cleveland. Everybody knew this was coming. I'm going to go Boston. I just think they're a bit more reliable, you know. But if Porzingis gets hurt, I already wrote it on the board. I'm not gonna go grab my eraser. Okay, Boston wins it and they win it in 6. We'll write Boston up here. Now here we go. The Clippers versus Minnesota. Like I said, Anthony Edwards loves old people. And there's no older team than the Los Angeles Clippers. I mean, James Harden, Kawhi Leonard, that's it. That's all I can think of at the moment. But those are 2 of the older stars in the league. That being said, I think Julius Randle really sinks like a rock in this series. This entire playoff run, Julius Randle has been doing everything he can to help the opposing team. That man sucks. He's booty cheeks, and he's not proving anybody wrong. Everybody knows he's booty cheeks. And this is when it catches up to them. Los Angeles Clippers win against the Minnesota Timberwolves. Why do I keep writing clip? It doesn't matter. They win against the Minnesota Timberwolves because outside of Anthony Edwards, they don't have a lot of offensive firepower besides Julius Randle, who I think is going to turn into the opposite of firepower in the playoffs. Rudy Gobert's old. He's washed. Anthony Edwards is going to have like a good 1-2 thrust for like 2 games, but that's it. Clippers in 6. So this is the finals. This is the finals as predicted right here. 15 minutes. This is the finals. Okay, we got the Los Angeles Clippers and the Boston Celtics. Oh boy. Who could have ever predicted that I would predict the Clippers to come to the finals? Oh, insane. I just want to clarify, by the way, my favorite team of all time, ever, forever, is the San Antonio Spurs. They have my heart, and I would never cheat on them. That being said, they're not in this playoff bracket. What happens in the playoffs stays in the playoffs. San Antonio ain't got to know that I'm repping the Clippers. Okay? Boston versus Clippers. Oh, man. I'm going to do it, man. I'm going to do it. I'm going to say it. The Clippers win it all. It's going to be 6 games. Don't even trip, okay? Listen. I think at this point, Kristaps Porzingis is injured. Oh my God. Julian, how could you bank on injuries when you're asking Kawhi Leonard to run through the entire playoffs uninjured? I know that's what you're thinking. I don't know how I do it, but I do it, okay? Kristaps Porzingis is injured at this point. Jaylen Brown has been having a down year, okay? Right now, it's always Jason Tatum is 1A and Jaylen Brown is 1B. Kind of scenario. Unfortunately, right now, Jaylen Brown's not even a B. I think he's kind of like a B-, maybe a C+. In terms of he's like a third option right now. He's playing like a third option. So I think Jason Tatum comes in. He performs very well. I think Drew Holiday gets lit on fire by James Harden, which is a crazy thing to say. James Harden he's been in the finals once, I think. But he's not exactly known for performing well in high-pressure situations. But I think he does it just this once. Just this once. Allow me to believe that James Harden has one good playoff run in him. And Kawhi Leonard is Kawhi Leonard. He's going to prove himself as better than KD all time. He's going to prove that he should have been on that OG trio podcast with Steph, KD, and LeBron. That nobody should have ever forgotten about him. And that he won the 2019 championship for a reason. Okay? Los Angeles Clippers win in 6. It's the first year of the Intuit Dome, and it's the first year they bring a championship. The storyline is immaculate. Steve Ballmer sucks Kawhi Leonard's dick on live television. I mean, it's just how it's going to happen. Okay? And then the San Antonio Spurs win every championship for the next 10 years because Victor Wembanyama is the greatest player to ever grace this planet. Okay, but there you go. There you go. We got the L.A. Oh, yeah. Yeah. It's going to be so funny seeing how quickly this falls apart. There you go. Los Angeles Clippers, they're going to be the 2025 champions. Okay? You heard it here first. It's going to be a crazy, crazy playoff season. Tons of upsets. I mean, OKC is losing in the second round. Do they blow it up? No. But still crazy. And yeah. There you go. There you go. Let's let it sink in. Let it sink in. That's it. That's it right there. All right.